you the things I've seen on my ways, if I told you the things I've done in my days, you wouldn't believe me anyway. So it's best I just don't say. I've lived 1,000 lives, I've piloted 1,000 souls, I killed and fought and died just for a single role.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Or howdy, as it were.
Hola.
This is Wild Wild Talents. We are playing Wild Talents in the Wild West. I'm Kimi. I'm your GM, and these are my players. Start to the left.
Hi, I'm Mike. I'm playing Carla May Winthrop, but really I should be playing her horse. Go on.
I'm Jim, and I'm playing Gustavo, also known as El Jaguar, mysterious vigilante.
And I'm Sam. I play Grianne Kelly, who is definitely just a prospector, and that gold did not come out of thin air. Don't worry about it.
Oh, she's being super secretive now.
Right? Well, it's her secret.
Well, you tell everybody.
I'm Joey. I am playing Red Locke, a telepathic gambler who definitely didn't make a deal with the devil. Definitely didn't happen.
Totally
Did
not
not.
happen.
No.
Oh, man. And there is so much weird stuff happening in this place. So, Samantha with the recap.
What happened? Episode 3. On the road back to town from the forest, Gustavo suggested we search for sources of magic in the area to figure out the source of the animal sickness. Red remembered some unexplained animal deaths from his time in Dodge City when he last saw the mysterious pair. Grianne explained the steepness of price to the crew for the Fae's help. They debated some sacrifices, and Gustavo brought up the fancy folks on the horses. Red was very anti-following that lead, so Grianne was naturally very interested in that. And Gustavo led her to where he last saw them. She detected some warring magic that behaved kind of similar to the dog magic, but was slightly a different flavor. She traced their trail back west through town, past the lumber mill and the river beyond. It seems like they stopped here, so the crew decided to have a look around. Carla and Red went to speak to Jesse the foreman. He said that he and the crew were up in the forest that morning, but Timmy saw the fancy people. Timmy said they offered him a deal. Red read his mind. Oh, that's difficult. And saw his frenemies talking to Timmy. Red told Carla that... Oh, wait. No, Timmy told Carla that he said no to them out of fear of his mother. Red tells Timmy not to trust anyone in gray. Gustavo headed off to the church to see Reverend McTavish, who wasn't real sure what to say to reassure the town about the plague. Gustavo tells the Reverend about the pair of strangers and recommends that he remind the congregation against taking the easy way. The Reverend agrees and offers the use of the church to Gustavo for his own services. Carla and Red went to the saloon. Lenora says it's been slow. They both order top-shelf whiskey, and she saw the fancy folks, but they didn't stop by. She did not notice if they went anywhere else. She'll keep an eye out, though. Carla asked Red what he thought the pair were going to do here. He cautioned her that these are the kind of people that you don't steal from, and not to trust anyone wearing gray. There's a theme.
And Kimmy's worn gray every
Every
single
single
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Grania took Ralph the dog to the boarding house to ask Hepzibah about the magic dog. She definitely is a witch and was very curious about what Grania knows about magic. She read her palm and was aghast. Hepzibah offered to teach her some things and help treat the dog. Also to work on Grania's secret-keeping skills. Back at the saloon, Carla and Red talk to Lenora about the fancy folk when Grania and Gustavo join them. Grania passes Red a note to ask if he made a deal with the demon. The answer is a pale, sweaty yes. Gustavo blue skies a bit. Carla suggests kidnapping Winchester, and Grania proposes making a list of animal casualties to look for commonalities. On their way to the doctor, they all notice the person in white heading towards the quarantine zone. Carla keeps on task, but the rest follow their curiosity. Carla asks the condescending doctor for the info. A Winchester hand, Sebastian's dog, was ill, but most of the town had sick pets, a horse from the stables, a drifter's companion dog, so the doctor also makes an unsuccessful pass on Carla. She whistles for Strawberry and catches up to the rest of the crew. A beautiful white horse is tied outside the quarantine zone. There are some tents and shacks in the mini town. The person in white is talking to the quarantine folks and taking their hands, etc. Red tries to use telepathy on them and is now blind, screaming. Gustavo grabs and shakes him and gives him some whiskey. That'll fix it. Strawberry shies away from Red, acting like an actual horse for the first time, while Gustavo tries to get Red to leave, but he wants to stay. So Gustavo stays with Red while Carla and Grania go into the quarantine zone to investigate. Strawberry shares a knowing look with the white horse. They disguise themselves and blend in with the crowd to observe the person in white. The person in white takes Carla's hand, pauses, and then takes it again. They tell Carla they will speak in a minute. Carla and Grania follow them, and they're a little surprised not to have noticed Grania. The fancy pair were drawn to the town by the powerful opposing forces here. They are here to observe, but can intervene. They can maybe give a little info now and again. They do say that their counterpart is speaking to someone in town, then that's why they're here talking to us. It looks like we're back to the kidnap a Winchester plan. Carla formulates a plan, and they head to the boarding house to supply up. Hepzibah sees Red in the parlor and asks what he did. He makes something up about dust, and she gives him some glasses to borrow with stones for lenses. He can see! On the way out, they see the man in gray ride by, and he smirks at them. They ride to near the Winchester Manor and dismount to sneak in. Big Jim and two sidekicks ride up to where the three are hiding. The two sidekicks notice a pile of gold that Grania had set out, jump off their horses, and start fighting over it. Big Jim turns and yells at them. Red lets out a telepathic blast, shocking all three, and Gustavo starts a stampede. Grania hits Big Jim with a rock just before Carla rams into him with Strawberry.
I love the finesse of this group. I hit him with a rock.
Yep.
With a big rock.
Strawberry knocks him off his horse. Grania runs in and ties up Big Jim, sort of well, while Carla assesses and then secures him. Red and Gustavo take out the two hands, then put a blindfolded Big Jim up on Strawberry and ride for the interrogation silo.
Very nice. Do you remember which way the man in gray was riding? Which direction?
I don't know if we saw him.
No,
Because he
we
rode by
definitely
and he
did.
smirked.
He smirked.
Oh.
We were coming out of Hepzibah's house and going this way.
That's okay. I mean,
I did not write it down.
Okay, it's fine. It doesn't really matter because you guys are headed to a silo anyway, but
I think he was coming from this direction, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think he was coming
Right.
from a southerly direction.
Yes.
and
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Yeah,
Make
I can
too many
infer.
assumptions on that.
Yeah,
yeah, no worries.
where he may have been.
Yeah.
All right. So you have Big Jim in your clutches. He's seen some of your faces, and where are you going?
Can I retcon to having a bandana?
You can. Yes, I will allow that. I think that's a.
That's like standard operating procedure.
Right.
Procedure.
Yeah, we're doing
Right.
things a little underhanded.
We might actually work on everybody having an alter ego here in a bit. I might actually have to insist.
All right. If you want to, I mean, that seems like a logical thing that your character would do for sure. And if you guys want to say that you have like the bandanas around your neck that you pull up when you're doing shady stuff, you can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will do that, but I'm pretty sure my hat's still going to give me away.
Yeah.
Hair.
Yeah, your hair.
We're doomed.
Yeah.
You are doomed. All right. Cool. All right, you are going to the interrogation silo, which is located where?
I
I
think
think
that
didn't we say like here?
somewhere in this area, and
Yeah.
it was an abandoned
Somewhere south of
farmstead.
town.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Yonder. It's
For people
yonder.
people who can't see the map that we're pointing
Far
at.
enough from both town and the Winchester Manor
I would think that it's
to not hear the screams.
somewhere south of town,
Okay.
probably more westerly of the Winchester area.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that big empty space right
Yeah.
there. Perfect. I'm gonna see. I'll see if Sam will update our map and add interrogation,
Interrogation
silo, which I'm sure has another name, but for now, perfect. Okay, so you guys head that direction.
Casa de Ouch.
Yeah, especially once you leave Winchester Land, which is probably about that direction. You guys, the heat is off a bit, especially with Big Jim in your clutches. He's kind of the brains of the operation when he's on duty. So, all right, you have Big Jim. He's all tied up and
Blindfolded, according to the
blindfolded,
notes.
yes. Excellent. Blindfolded and at your mercy.
Is he still awake though?
I think he'd been knocked out, right?
I think so.
I did hit him with a rock.
Yeah, I think he was either.
Yeah, he was knocked out
Yeah.
when we put him on the horse. How long he remains that way, completely up to the whims of you.
Yeah.
So, who's going to take lead on this one?
First of all, I'm going to tie him up a little better. I'm actually going to tie his hands behind him and tie them to his feet.
Hog tie.
Yeah. But I am going to put him in the silo and I'm going to bury him up to his neck in wheat.
Nice.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
All right, so this is not an abandoned silo. This is part of someone's. Okay. So we'll have to add in some farm right there, too. Okay, cool.
Okay.
So whose farm is this? Jim, since you're using his grain as a
Okay.
trap.
Farmy McFarm face.
Stevie Farm.
Steve Farman.
No,
You're fired.
So we went with farmman and not farmer.
Old Man Masterson's farm.
Old Man Masterson.
Sounds like a Scooby-Doo villain.
He's a widower.
does.
Masterson.
He's a widower and basically used to have a large farm that he used to keep much better than he does now. But now it's sort of like a subsistence sort of thing.
Okay.
Since his wife passed away and his sons moved, he just sort of like keeps his land and just feeds himself off of it and doesn't really do much work.
Maybe he actually like leases his land to the Winchesters.
Yeah.
Okay.
For grazing.
Yeah, for
'cause he doesn't
grazing.
really do many crops
Yeah.
anymore.
Cool. Perfect. Very good. All right. So you have you were at Old Man Masterson's interrogation silo that's full of grain, and Big Jim is buried to his neck in it and cannot move. He's slowly starting to like moan and kind of wake up.
But okay, so before he wakes up, let's have a little confab
Okay.
about what we want to ask this dude.
You have plenty of time to do that.
Yeah.
So we can
Yeah.
we can say that you.
Well, that's what I was saying on the horse ride over here.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
let's make some notes on what we're going to ask this guy.
Got my notebook.
Yay.
Yeah. Well, we should definitely ask him if any of the Winchesters have made a deal with the man in gray.
I wouldn't put it past him. Seems like his
Yeah.
ideal customers.
What kind of low life would do that? Oh wait, sorry.
What, who would be so stupid?
I was young and needed the money.
All right. So we want to ask about the man in gray.
Uh-huh.
Do we want to ask him if his boss knows anything about the disease that's
The
afflicting animals?
Yeah. Yep.
Maybe see if he knows if any of their animals have been affected at all. Because
Now
we were
let's-
kind of inclusive about
Let's
that. With
start
the
with
doctor.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, maybe for any future endeavors, maybe he knows a way to get into Winchester Manor, because I have thus far been stumped.
Have you tried ringing the doorbell?
Well, I don't want to get shot.
I thought you like to live your life dangerously.
Not that dangerously. If I'm getting in there, I don't want anyone to know I'm in there.
Let's ask him about security measures on the Winchester Ranch. We should ask how they found out about the standing stones in the woods.
Yeah, tell him to stay the heck out of the forest.
Also, don't touch pretty horses named Strawberry. Don't guess who we are.
Don't look at my hat.
Shut up about my hair.
I love you
He's
guys
still
so much.
blindfolded, right?
Yes, he's totally
Okay, good.
Yeah, he's fine.
I mean, that seems to cover the main bases, yeah?
I mean, did we ever get confirmation that they were the ones that kind of paid off the doctor to prevent the cure for the disease?
Oh, the plague. Let's ask him
Yeah.
about
Oh, yeah.
plague involvement.
You know, we may just want to ask him right off the bat if he knows who we are. Just in case we have to make any contingency plans for releasing him at the end of this.
Ask him in a weird voice, though.
We're releasing him? All right, so I'm just saying. The guy who worships Mayan gods, blood sacrifice is a thing. I could use him.
He seems pretty shitty. I don't really care. Maybe that's the last thing we ask him.
Let's see what he's guilty of first, and then we'll talk about sacrificing.
Yeah, I'd like to take some of the red off my ledger, not add to it.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying that's definitely the course of action I'm approving or want to do. I'm just saying it is an option. Because if we do get a whiff that this guy knows too much,
Right.
that it's a foregone conclusion that we're going to have to do something.
I could try to bling blast.
Bling blast?
Oh, yeah.
Bling blast.
Give him the old bling blast.
Yeah, because he has a very small brain.
Yeah. We're just gonna
You
leave it at
brain
that.
blast him, we'll get him liquored up, and then nobody will believe what he says.
There you go.
Put him in a compromising position with some goats and be run out of town.
I think that's a safe way to do it, and that's fine.
Yeah, the goats were well paid. They knew what they were getting into.
I imagine we're having this conversation as we're burying him in wheat. Just like
no, that's
heaving,
yeah.
heaving
What?
wheat on top of him.
We're never gonna get goats.
Dude, we live in the country.
Old man Winchester's got like at least one goat. Winchester, old man
Old man
Masterson.
Masterson.
Old man
Wow, a
Master.
lot of old men in this town.
Yeah.
Well, it's no country for old men.
Speaking of which, one of us should probably keep watch.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, I've got rocks for eyes, so
Yeah, and we need you for the
Yeah.
rooting through his brain part.
But how about we just take advantage of the fact he's unconscious and just have you sift through his head?
Strawberry will keep watch. I'll leave her outside.
I'll see what I can do. I'm not great
Okay.
at reading people who aren't conscious, but I'll give it a shot.
Well, we can bring him about. I mean, whatever you think is best.
Let's give it a shot.
All
Let's
right.
see what happens.
You know what you do. I frankly, it's a mystery to me.
Regular dice, 2 hard, and 1 wiggle. All right. Oh, look at all those 8s.
Oh.
Yeah, so we're gonna go with it's gonna be 4 8s.
Ooh, that's not bad at all.
No, that's pretty good. All right, it takes you a couple minutes, but you're not in a big rush.
Right.
In fact, a little bit longer. You take the probably a little bit more close to consciousness he'll be, and the easier it would be. But yeah, you pretty much have. There's a little bit of confusion there, but he's not trained to withstand telepathic attacks or anything like that. So
been
yeah,
trained in
it's
occlumency.
pretty much it's like finding something in a library when you're being a little bit lazy about the Dewey Decimal System. So you can pretty much find anything you want, but it's going to take a little while.
Okay. Cool. Let's start with the first one. Does he know who we are?
That's a good question.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, she's pulling out dice. I'm always scared when the GM pulls out dice.
You shouldn't be scared of me.
That's why I like PBTA. They
She's
never
wearing
roll.
gray.
They
I
never
am way
roll.
too smart for that, Kimmy. Sorry.
Are you afraid of me?
Lying.
Lying.
How about this? Respect.
Yes. He has suspicions about Carla May, but he does not have a connection with her and the incident that just happened.
Okay.
So he is aware that there's weird things about you guys, but you guys kind of got the drop on him. You didn't get a real good look. The only thing that's a little bit that's in his head, he hasn't thought of it, but it's in his brain, is your hat and your pocket watch.
Right.
So he's aware, he saw that and his brain knows it, but he might not consciously know it yet.
Oh.
So, and he did clock red hair, but again, it's like those things that are in your brain that you might never actually think about or remember.
Okay.
Note to self by Snake Oil
Am I
Salesman,
the only
Gray
redhead
Hat
in
and
town?
Pocket.
I have a question. Am I the only redhead in town? Okay, good.
No.
They can't be all that popular.
Carla May has very dark hair, so she's
Yeah.
black, like black.
Now here's a weird, I guess, rules question.
Mm-hmm.
If I wanted to try to use my brain blast to damage his memory, is that something I could do?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. Let me look at
Yes.
let me see
Look at the thing, and I don't.
how it got built. Yeah, I mean that seems. I mean, it would be more difficult to
Right,
be
'cause I'm
exact
pinpointing.
about that. Yeah. So we could do that. I think like we could roll it like a called shot.
Okay. Yeah. So how does a called shot work?
So a called shot works. You would put one. You take
A die and put it aside that's at a certain number.
at a certain number. So basically, you take one of your dice from your die pool. And you put it on. Generally, it would be whatever part of the body you were trying to hit. So
Okay.
if you're trying to hit someone
The heat
in
is
their
to
arm,
the head.
10, right?
yeah. So.
Yeah.
So it'd be the head, and then you'd roll your dice pool, and you're trying to match that as
That
one of your
called die.
matches.
Okay.
You already have hard dice.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have, yeah.
Oh well, yeah. You
And I have a wild die.
well, you're gonna get it.
Thank God. No, that's 2, 4. That's 5 10s.
Yep. Nailed it. It takes you a few minutes because you have to kind of like sifting. Like it's like when you're trying to push sand away from something and it kind of sifts back in. So it takes you a minute to kind of get it all cleared off, but then you can do it.
Okay. Yeah. Let's boop, take that out.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, that's one done.
I mean, you were just
I
talking
don't.
about
We're just chilling here. I'm just chilling here watching you, like, just beep.
Right.
But
you were gonna
man,
murder him a second
you
ago.
just
You're
said
like,
it.
You were like practically frothing at the mouth to kidnap this
would-
guy.
I just saved his life. If you could have identified us,
yeah,
Gustavo wanted to sacrifice him.
it's a good point.
I'm just saying. I'm
killing's
somewhat
clean.
morally
Messing with
ambiguous.
someone's mind, that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
Seems
Mine
fine to
fucking
me.
is totally
I
cool.
live in the gray area. All right, let's go. Speaking of gray, let's go with any information about the man in gray.
He has seen the man in gray quite often at the Winchester mansion. He doesn't like the man in gray. It gives him the willies.
Well, he's not as dumb as he looks.
Yeah. He's never really had a conversation. Like he actually, that's one of the reasons he dislikes the man in gray, because the man in gray does not acknowledge his presence.
Ooh.
Like completely ignores him, treats him like a servant. And Big Jim feels like he's above that. He's a manager, damn it.
He's a right-hand man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's middle management, damn it. That
Yeah.
deserves respect.
Exactly. So he's never seen. Were you just checking about the man in gray?
Yeah, just basically any information he has on the man in gray, basically confirming that he's been at the Winchester house.
Yeah. He doesn't have any information. There's like you get visuals of old man Winchester like inviting the man in gray into like the nice study and like shutting the doors behind him, stuff like that.
Okay. And then, I guess, anything about the sick animals. Any information he has about what may be making the animals sick, he has no idea.
He's not. He's got suspicions. He's got stuff, but like he thinks it might be the like a lot of like superstitious stuff. Like,
Okay.
oh, maybe the plague has come back and just for the animals, like that sort of thing. He's
Cool.
not in the know on that necessarily.
Well, the good news is he's not going to be able to identify us.
And it's good.
Yeah. The man in gray has been at the Winchester Manor. He's been
troubling.
taking lots of dealings and lots of meetings with Mr. Winchester. So who knows what they've been talking about, but it can't be good. And he really has no idea about what's causing these animals to get sick. So if Winchester is behind it, Jim isn't involved at all. But he may have more answers when we wake him up.
Shall we?
Well, I'm going to stand behind him because I just spent time making sure he didn't recognize me. I want to make sure that that stays fresh. So I'll be out of his line of sight.
There's no reason for us to remove the blindfold. He just needs to talk. He doesn't need to see anything.
Exactly.
I think I'll follow Red's lead and stand behind him just in case anyway.
All right, blindfolds fall off.
I'm gonna just slap him.
Yeah.
Slap him.
I want to have a cage with rats.
Mm.
In,
I'm having Game of Thrones flashbacks.
just in here, just in this place.
In a granary? Yeah, they're going to be all over the place.
Sure,
I just
cool.
need to put them in a cage.
Cool, gross,
Oh, where'd you get that?
cool and gross.
Yeah, you can totally do that while he's sifting through his brain. You can be collecting rats.
And I'm just going to put the little squeakers like right next to his head so he can hear them.
I don't know if it's better or worse than collecting dead birds.
They're fully alive.
I wasn't going to torture anybody with that dead bird.
No, you were not.
Nope.
I was trying to help people with that dead
I'm
bird.
feeling better about the dead birds now.
Good. I'm collecting pets. And I'm going to wait for him to come to.
Yeah, Carla's the one who slaps him.
Slaps him?
Just
Okay.
so you know. That's very important to me.
Like his head like whips around. Son of a bitch. What the? He's trying to look around, but he's got a blindfold on. I'm not going to keep my eyes closed.
And he's hog-tied and weak.
Yeah. And he literally can't move anything. So, what the blazes is going on here? What? Hey! He starts yelling because and then he kind of hears the rats. Hey, ooh.
I whisper into the other ear. No one can hear you.
What?
All the bad.
What do you want?
We simply want information.
Okay. What information would you? Yeah. What?
Your boss is an interesting fellow.
Hey, I'm no snitch, man. You dealing with Mr. Winchester? You deal with him.
I'm going to make something extremely clear to you. Right now, you are my bitch. And you are whatever I say you are. You're going to answer these questions, or I swear to you, your demise will be slow and extremely painful. Shake the cage.
Yeah.
Carla's gonna take her knives and like against each other.
Oh, we were grinding. Like, the fuck are we doing? What? That's a turn.
Yeah.
Hey man, this is all psychological.
Grianne's facial expression says, I just wanted to save a dog.
So he like winces and he like leans away from like all the noises. He's kind of like confused.
Rats and
Blades and weird whispers in his ear. Like, hey man, whatever you do to me, it won't be as bad as what old man Winchester can do.
We'll see what you say about that in a day.
In a day? What do you mean?
Well, first, there's the bathtub. Then we fill it with milk and honey. Oh no. You're tied in it. And at first, it's kind of pleasant. Until you start fouling the water. And then the insects come in. Do you understand what I'm telling you?
Yeah.
It will take days. I will write a letter to your family, explaining to them exactly how you went. Is your attitude changing?
Maybe. What is it you all want to know?
I'm sorry, I said that your mind freak is fucked up.
Apology accepted. I would also like to point back to the first episode, or character creation, when Jim was like, so my character's the only one with a moral compass in this group.
He didn't say what kind of
this guy
moral
at
compass.
all.
Dude, he hasn't heard him. He's only said words.
It's
Fair.
only intimidation.
Fair play.
Yeah, true.
Until I start cutting bits off this guy, then you can't say anything.
We roll. You have intimidation.
I do.
Okay, roll it.
I should hope so.
No, it's just for fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use my empathy check on this one.
That's 4 8s.
Jesus.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a little intimidating.
Yeah. He's trying to hold out. You can see he's trying to be brave, but there's a little bit of a quiver in his bottom lip. He kind of bites it to keep it from quivering. Yeah. You're bluffing.
I open the cage. And I just let the rats sort of sniff around.
Oh, all right. Okay. All right.
I put him back in the
Fine.
cage.
What do you want to know?
How did your boss know about the standing stones in the woods?
The magic things? The circles?
Don't play games with me. How did he know?
I don't know. Winchester knows everything. He's got people who come from all over the place and tell him a bunch of stuff.
I see. And I think, and it's a coincidence that when he became involved in the plague, a cure was miraculously found.
Well, I mean, no. Guy's got money. He can pay for things. Right? And got money and no scruples. You can pretty much get whatever you want in this world.
It's not wrong.
It's my experience.
Also, the people who come by, they're weird people, man. I don't,
Names,
weird thing.
Descriptions.
I don't have names, but there's the creepy man in gray who comes by. The guy's an asshole. And then there's another woman who comes by sometimes. I don't get to talk to her. I've just seen her from far away. But she comes in, she wears all red. Very fancy looking lady. Rides a nice brown horse and...
Where does she come from?
The town, I don't know. I just see her riding up.
From what direction?
She just arrives at the house, man. I don't know. I'm usually on patrol when she comes. Seems real careful. I think he might be... he's a rich man. You know what I mean?
As he's talking about the woman in red, I'd like to try to get a read on him, see if I can get an image of what she looks like.
Sure. I'm just going to let you
That's
use the roll
fine.
from before.
Yeah, that's fine.
She is... You get this read of very fancy. Like brand new clothes, brand new horse, brand new everything. Just the feeling you get when you get when you see a brand new penny, brand new, never if you got handed a penny that no one had ever touched before. That's the kind of feeling he gets when he sees this woman. Not necessarily desire, although she's beautiful. There's just this shiny newness to her. Okay. And
is she dancing with anyone cheek to cheek? Sorry,
it's fine.
I'm a bad person.
A little, but this way. But
I got you.
I got you. No, I got it. And he's never spoken to her, and he does think it's weird that she only comes around when it seems like everyone else is away from the house.
Mm.
So, because he really would like to meet her.
Well, yeah.
And if he could have arranged to be there when she arrived, he would have done that by now. But it's just weird. It's always when he's away. So he's only seen her from farther away.
All right. So I'm going to ask the last question, which is the security measures question. Does anybody else have anything else that...
Oh, yeah. Grianne's trying to get your attention. She's like, ask him when the lady started coming.
When did this woman start visiting?
Thank you. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Phrasing.
It's hilarious. I don't care. It's hilarious.
Totally good.
Yeah.
But we're not doing
murder.
phrasing?
This is not a child's game. We can say coming. It's fine.
What, seriously? We're not doing phrasing?
Yeah.
Okay.
She started coming. Or, no, I did. She started arriving and visiting the ranch about a month before the Standing Stones things happened.
Okay.
So, sorry, did you ask him that, or are
Yeah,
you reading your minds?
No,
Okay.
I asked him that.
Oh, all right. I don't know. I first saw her about a month before the cattle drive thing that happened. He suddenly realizes you might not know about it, so he's like, the thing that happens.
The thing.
Yeah. He's a lot of muscle. He's not very smart. He's very good at a very small number of things. Coming up with
Very
alternatives.
specific set of skills.
Yeah. Coming up with lies that connect with other lies and fabrications is not a great thing.
One last question. One final question.
He sort of trembles at that.
If I wanted to get into the Winchester Manor, what would be the best way to do so?
You have to be invited by Mr. Winchester.
That's polite and all. But, is that truly necessary?
Yeah, okay. You talked about the Standing Stones, so you know that weird stuff happens around here. Like, the house is weird. Like, if you're not invited, bad stuff goes down. You can't get in. I don't know how he does it, but I don't want to accuse my boss of nothing. He seems like a good Christian guy, but
He does. Really?
he gives money to the church. The Wild
Can I read
West.
his mind and see if he actually believes he's a good Christian, or is he just saying that?
Sure. He's kind of just saying that.
Okay.
He's also not a good person either. So
Oh, of course.
On his bell curve of what a good person is, he's like, sure, he's Christian. Eh.
I was want to make sure it wasn't blind following. No, I really believe in what he's doing versus I'm getting paid.
He thinks Mr. Winchester is a good leader and going to make him rich and knows how to do things in the world. And he sees him as a role model and an idol.
Okay.
But he doesn't really think he's a good person.
Okay.
Not that he cares about that, because he doesn't care if he's a good person either.
Right.
So, but he's like, someday I could be rich and just like that guy. Doesn't wear his
I just want to make sure he wasn't misguided. And okay.
Yeah.
Fuck him then. Rat him.
So I'll kind of look at Gustavo and be like, are you done? Handle of the knife, back of the head, knock him out.
Boom. All right. I'm not gonna make you roll for that because it's perfect.
Cool.
No, I could have done that a little less conspicuously.
But would it have been fun?
That's fair.
Now let's spread the chores out between all of us so we all have our hands dirty, shall we?
It's just us now. You can drop the voice.
Oh, he takes off the mask. Okay.
So what are you saying? I take the left arm, you take the head, you take the...
I do not see any reason why we have to kill this man.
Oh, sure, definitely. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, he got the brain wipe going.
Yeah, I already took care of it.
And from what I understand, from what I smell, he was very scared.
Plus, if Big Jim goes missing, Winchester's going to be on high alert.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well,
I say we just douse it with whiskey, throw him back in the field, and be on our way.
Yep. Those two guys that were fighting over the gold won't know what happened either. They'll think he just got...
So this is what I want to do. I want to
Tied
strip him
one
naked. I
on.
want to tie him to a donkey and head it towards town.
Okay.
Well,
Seems to be your MO. I like it.
that looks like he was kidnapped.
No, we're going to douse him in whiskey.
Okay. Just had too wild of a night. Okay.
You could probably drape him over a donkey. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
then it's like, I don't even want to ask what's happening, dude.
There you go.
A note that says "Not so big, Jim."
It's funny because it's true.
After reading his mind, you know it's true.
Mm-mm.
All right. So you do that.
Yep.
Big Jim is on his donkey ride to town, smelling super messed up, very, very probably befuddled and confused a bit. Definitely not going to admit where he's been.
So what's a main Winchester's first name? I forget what it was.
I got it. Hold on.
I was the one who named him. I'm pretty sure, and I cannot find it.
It's in my other notebook.
Oh no!
No, I have the other notebook. I just have to get it.
What was his name?
Wah, Winchester.
I just keep calling him
Steve
Old Man.
Winchester.
Good old Steve.
Rutherford.
Oh, please, Steve.
Was it Rutherford?
I don't know.
It could be. Ember Falls.
I'm very good at DMing usually because all of my NPCs are named Steve.
That's definitely
Harlan Winchester.
Harlan.
That's
Thank you.
Okay.
I could not remember.
Well, it sounds like Mr. Winchester is mixed up in some serious weirdness. Very curious who this lady in red is.
As am I. Does it sound familiar to you?
Could he be an infernalist?
If I remember correctly, the Duchess's sister was all in black, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
their sibling, which was
Sibling,
non-gendered,
Yes.
was like all in black with really dark skin and really
Okay.
dark hair. So,
Not in red.
no.
Okay.
But you do know that Fae can appear however they want.
That's true. Yeah.
But so can a myriad of other
Yeah.
magical
I
creatures.
mean, the appearance doesn't stir any recollection, but magic.
Well, red's out of my wheelhouse. I know black and white. Or gray and white.
But your name is Red.
Touche, Carla. Well done. Gold star.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I think gonna need to secure an invite to that manor.
Well, yes, that's my main priority going forward. Just have to keep a lookout for any shindigs, parties, hootenannies, etc. that he might be.
What if we put an idea in his head, or maybe even someone who works for him? I wish we hadn't let Jim go.
There's plenty of Winchester boys around.
True. There's a sickness going around, right?
Yeah.
What better way to appear as a philanthropist than to spearhead some kind of benefit, some kind of fundraising benefit? Better yet, to host it at one's own house. Maybe some kind of card tournament.
Now, since I'm a landowner in this area and relatively equivalent status-wise to the Winchesters,
Yeah.
does he hold a lot of parties there? Does he invite guests a lot?
He tends to hold once in a while. He does, but a lot of times you when like thinking back on it, a lot of times they're in the summer and things like that, and they're not in the house. He tends to like big like barbecues and picnic type
Outdoor.
parties, outdoor things that are splendid. But they're like if you think about it, you might never have actually been in his house, even though you've been at many functions at his home.
That's what I figured.
Yeah.
So I think we should function under the assumption that he's very wary about letting people into his house or inviting people in. So that might be a difficult road to hoe.
Yeah, I mean, you could also try and track down this lady.
If we do ask around in town about her, we need to be very discreet about it.
Yeah, if she's anything like the other two, I'd hate to run into her unprepared.
Well, I think that what we need to understand is either Old Man Winchester himself has some magical connection or ability, or he has amongst his retinue someone who does.
Mm-hmm.
This woman seems to be very. The fact that her arrival coincided with their understanding of the magic of the standing stones is very suspicious to me, and the fact that we have not seen her at all before means that she comes from somewhere remote and visits this place, Winchester's Manor. So it could very well be that no one in town knows who this woman is. Do we have any idea of the hierarchy of retinue at the Winchester Manor? Like, it's Old Man Winchester, his son, I think we've established.
his son.
There's no wife, from what I understand.
No, he's a widower.
Is there like a major domo? Is there like a more, like, somebody that does bookkeeping? Somebody that's more of an intellectual right hand than a physical one?
Yeah, he absolutely has like a full staff, and he has like
Big
Big Jim.
consigliere.
Yeah, exactly. So Big Jim's kind of his hand, like the manager of his actual like ranching part of it, but he does have like a secretary that and he like keeps the books, he takes notes and things like that if needed, handles a lot of the correspondence, that sort of thing.
And does he live in town or does he live on the property?
He lives on the property.
In the house?
What's his name, Joey?
That's a good question. I have a list of names here. Give me a second.
Flippy Von Wonderstool.
Yes. No. His name is Excel. No. Come on. The page one is right there.
Yeah.
His name is Carson Hayes.
Another way to get invited into the house is being hired on in some way, shape, or form.
Well, I don't know about you, but I don't look much like a ranch hand. Seems a little unlikely for me.
Same.
I'm not even going to respond to that.
I do not like... Gustavo does not like getting dirty.
I mean, best I can do is if they needed some express delivery to a nearby town, I could... That's what I'm known for around here, but... I've been here well on a year and haven't found my way into that manor yet, so...
I have an idea and I really hate it.
Ooh, I really want to hear it.
Yeah, same here.
We know he's dealing with the man in gray. What if we were to pose as associates of the man in gray with urgent business that would hopefully get us inside the compound and possibly even into his office? In theory. I really don't lack the words that just came out of my mouth.
That's a terrible plan. I sort of love it.
It is half a plan. It is a plan that may get us in, and then there's nothing after that.
Right.
we do need an idea to get us out.
Or to actually look around and make use of the time that we have in there. I am certain that if there were any strangers to be allowed in, we'd probably be put in the foyer and kept there.
I mean, would he buy us as associate? I mean, at least
A
couple of us are well known around town.
I think we have to go under the assumption that he perhaps suspects all of us in some way, shape, or form. This is a person who prides himself on being in the know and being in control. So I am assuming that there is some scrutiny on everyone in the town from there. I think that one of the things that is keeping us able to do the things that we do and generally alive is the fact that there is no direct tie between anything working against the Winchesters and us. and we need to maintain that as much as possible, which adds a little extra level of complexity at trying to get into the manor.
One thing that you also picked up while you were rummaging around in Big Jim's head is what you guys have kind of already figured out, but it's that Mr. Winchester kind of collects things that Big Jim sees as like superstitious.
Okay.
But that's like you guys recognize and like as like magic. Like the man in black in gray. I'm sorry, the man in black is what I have to think of every single time I say the man in gray. I hear the train coming. It's sorry. I will not sing to
Okay,
you.
so he collects.
But so yeah, and now the suspicion, which I'm sure you guys already have, based on what you're saying already, of the lady in red.
Mm-hmm.
So you and Big Jim thinks it's
Hogwash.
yeah. I mean, at least he did until he saw the stones, and now he's kind of like suspicious about it. But so anyway, that's the thing you know.
Okay.
What if I put it out there that I was looking to sell strawberry?
Do you think that would at least get you in the house?
This is a man that collects unusual items. Could be a way.
Yeah, but they're already suspicious of you.
I have an idea.
If it's better than mine, I'm all for it.
I like your artifact angle. What if someone were to manufacture a magical looking artifact out of, I don't know, gold?
I mean, it feels better than putting strawberry on the line, I'll tell you that much.
You know?
What if we make it seem like touching this item gives you the ability to read minds?
I like that. That's very good.
You know, you gotta attune yourself to it first. It won't work from right away.
Right.
But it might get us in.
Yeah. I like that.
Alright, so what do we do if we get in?
Well, there'll have to be a sales pitch, which is an excellent distraction.
True.
I will have to remain near the article. So someone stealthy could have a look around or rummage through some brains.
I mean, do we all have to be invited in individually, or is this a one of us gets in, the rest?
Once in, can you invite other people in? That's a good question.
Well, Jim did specifically say that Mr. Winchester had to invite you in for you to enter.
Okay. What if we just let it be known around town that there's an artifact for sale? I think he'll invite us.
I think maybe you came across an artifact while you were digging.
I like this.
You were digging kind of near that death clock.
Speaking of which, has anybody checked on that death clock lately?
It's kind of outside of my expertise.
You know, being a magical artifact and all. What if somebody had removed it from that cave? That seems like a terrible thing. That could maybe start a cascading horribleness.
You make a good point. We should maybe check on that death clock.
Your GM's been sitting there looking at that part of the map for like 4 episodes. Like, it says death clock. I'm like, wait.
I thought
things are done. Yeah, that tracks. Oh.
our characters are not as smart as we are, Kimmy. I've been waiting for it to come up naturally.
Right, me too. Like, someone's gonna point us at death clock at some point, right? It'll come up.
Bless you for saying the words death clock so I can be like, yeah, how about that?
Everything's fine.
Look,
Okay.
Carla gives so little shits about the death clock. Like, I feel like I've been well in character.
I don't even remember what the death clock is.
It's over there near my goal.
It's near the golds.
I don't even remember coming up with that when we made the map.
It was me.
Samantha made something weird.
Shocking.
I made this whole section of the map
Yeah.
pretty much. The weird section.
The arrows that say gold, death clock.
And Scary Forest.
And
Right.
Scary Forest.
That's right.
Okay. All right.
Do we know about the death clock?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
kind of a well-known.
It's like a local like legend.
Local legend, yeah. Speaking of death clocks, all right. Here's what we're gonna do.
Mm.
We're gonna go check on that goddamn death clock.
Sure.
I should have kept a straight face. I'm sorry. I just.
So the minute I started talking about it, I'm like, yeah.
Hey, wait a minute. If it's still in there and it's still safe, we're all good.
For our listeners, we've had a map front and center with the words Death Clock Cave on it for 4 episodes.
I apologize for my lack of scrutiny.
They made it up.
I think it's funnier
I
that
didn't
way.
even put it on the map. They're the ones who came up with it. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, my eyeballs.
I need to re-listen to episode 0.
As long as the death clock is fine, I'll make a fake one out of gold, and then we can sell it to the Winchester, get in the Winchester mansion, and ransack it for secrets.
Why wouldn't they just buy the clock and not let us in?
Because that's part of the deal.
Well, you can't.
There's nothing
You're not
suspicious
gonna-
about, we'll sell you this magical thing only if you let us in our house.
Who's gonna buy a magical artifact from somebody like in their porch? You invite them in. That's just common courtesy.
Point of parliamentary procedure. What?
We're not like that peddler.
Yeah, we're not the snake oil salesman.
Lance Boyle, man. He's got a name.
Lance Boyle. He's
Check
not
to
a
see
bad.
if Gustavo looks guilty when he mentions
Lance
his
Boyle
name.
is not a bad man.
No.
He's not a good one either.
He's not good.
He's a medium man.
Mediocre.
That is the worst sin of all.
like most men.
Mediocrity.
All right, I don't know about you, but I got a hankering for a death clock cave.
Yeah,
Let's
no,
go.
I'm really nervous
Well,
about
this
the
is
death
it's
clock.
midnight, so why don't we check that out like first thing in
Are
the
you
morning?
kidding? Midnight is the perfect time to go to a death clock cave.
All right, let's go to the Death Clock Cave. I was hoping to get a little bit of sleep, but that's fine.
It looks best by torchlight.
Riding out to the Death Clock Cave.
in the bit.
Come on, horse.
Horse.
I love him.
Have any of you ever visited the Death Clock Cave before?
I previously stated I am an inside cat, so no.
I probably looked at it while rummaging for gold nearby, but I have not gone in.
Okay.
I'm not that interested in.
I'm going to say that I heard rumor of it, but I did not believe the rumors.
All right.
Probably a similar situation. It's like Death Clock Cave, whatever. I don't
It's
care.
like, no way, they name anything that bad, that obvious.
It's
right?
like the mystery spot, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over at Steve's place.
Steve, the NPC.
Okay, yeah, let's head up to the death clock at midnight.
unclip.
No, I don't want to.
Mike started to walk away with his mic.
I turned it off though, so it's okay.
All right, so you ride up through part of the scary forest at midnight.
Which I only feel comfortable with because Ryan is with me.
Forest is fine. I don't know why everybody's scared of it.
I'm not scared of the forest.
Well, there's the rumor of the skin changers, and then there's the creepy stone circle, and then there's,
You mean that place I go all the time?
that, like, ate somebody.
Yeah, that now is
It didn't eat him. He was already dead.
Usually what I eat is already dead.
I'm going to agree with Gustavo here.
Unless you do it different.
Like,
Far be it from me. I mean, I don't judge.
I judge.
You saw what I did in the silo. It's not in my violence to judge.
Yeah. Not accepting any of your judgment right now, Gustavo.
I am. There is none to give.
All right, so you go up to the death clock and the cave, and it's there, and it's appropriately creepy
Yeah.
for a place called the Death Clock Cave.
Lights torch goes in cave.
Okay, very good.
Well, we're not far behind.
When we arrive at the cave, is that like I'm riding Strawberry. Is she cool with this?
For most of it, she's got like because we've established you kind of communicate through empathy. She can't give you direct thoughts, but feelings. Through most of it, it's just kind of like what are we doing? Like, we could be home. We could be back at home.
Sure.
And then she starts getting close to the Death Clock Cave, and as you get closer, she starts to feel annoyed. And no, let's go home. Like no longer like, hey, we go home. It's now like a home. be home, like wanting to like home is like wanting to be in a safe home place.
Okay.
More specifically, wanting to take you to a safe home place. She's starting to feel protective of you.
Okay. I pet her gently. try to soothe. Got to be here. But yeah, we'll get there, and I'll.
I'm pretty sure if you could see her face, she'd probably be giving you a dirty look.
Okay. It's not the first time.
Nope. I love you. Stop patronizing me.
Sure. All right. Just curious as to what she was feeling as we're heading.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'll follow her.
Okay.
Got the torch.
Is everybody going in?
Mm-hmm.
I would like to roll perception.
Well, you don't have to. It's okay. You're going in a cave with a torch. You can see things.
Okay.
You walk in, and this is, like all of you, if you're in there, this is different than anything you've ever seen. So this, like, it doesn't look Native American. It doesn't look like it's from any of the Central or South American cultures. It is something completely different. And Grianne, it doesn't look like anything you know from, like, your European Fae things. Like, this is something, like, very different. There are drawings on the walls that I'm going to describe them as hieroglyphs, but they're not. I don't want to give you the impression that they're Egyptian, because they're not.
Okay.
But they are pictorial drawings that don't really match with any known culture that any of you are familiar with. And it's all over the walls. It's like it starts as like a regular cave, and then it opens up into a perfectly like cylindrical room that's very tall and has like one small opening at the top, and then is actually, which you may or may not have been expecting. I don't know what your character was thinking. The floor is where they call it a clock, even though it's not actually a clock, because it looks like a clock. There's like sections, so someone who's like, oh, that looks like a clock, especially if they don't know what it is, but it's actually in the floor, and it's more like pieces of like a pie graph or something like that that's marked off, and it continues up onto the walls around you with the same kind of pictorial markings.
How many sections?
There are 14 sections.
Okay. And you said there's an opening in the ceiling?
Yes. So,
if I look through the opening in the ceiling, is there any particular, like, celestial body or constellation visible?
Exactly what I was thinking.
not right now, no.
Okay.
But you also know, because you're Fae and you know magic stuff, like that the celestial body moves throughout the night. So.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna take out a notebook and do my best to like draw what the main part of the clock looks. I mean, everything on the walls is a little much, but I'm gonna draw like the essential part.
I would like for actually everybody roll empathy.
Ooh, empathy is good.
I got 2 7s.
Oh, that's too hard.
You can add your luck to it, and you can add any magical stuff you have. Do you have any magical things? Okay.
Yeah, I got Jack and all, but I got 2 10s.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, I got 2 tens.
Nice.
Thanks,
7s,
hard
10s,
dice.
10s.
I'm gonna end up with 4 10s
Okay.
with luck.
Yeah, even Carla May, you can feel like the kind of like almost like a pulse. There's nothing moving. There's nothing making noise. It's just like this, almost like you feel a heartbeat in this place. It's like magical. Just this like presence is the wrong word, but like magical energy that's kind of not making actually any noise, but you can just like feel it in you.
That's what
Everyone feels that, but even you as the lowest roller. So if you feel it, the person who got 4 10s is like, oh my god, like I feel the thing.
y'all exactly what are we looking for here? Because I am not feeling super comfortable.
Well, seems pretty magical. This death clock is a thing that doesn't look like you can take it, so that's good. Does it feel directional in any way? Like if I move around the room, does it get stronger or weaker?
As you go towards the center of the room, but this whole chamber is about the same.
Okay.
I'm going to listen to the ground at the center of the chamber.
Okay. When you do that, you don't have to roll. You don't hear anything, but you feel everything. And it reminds you of your most powerful moments when you were training to be El Jaguar. Again, like a little bit of a different flavor of power, but very much that sort of primal, part of this world kind of type of power.
Looking back at the images I had when I was reading Big Jim's mind and the Lady in Red, did I happen to see what her horse looked like?
Yes. It was brown with black
That's right.
mane. Yeah.
That's right, brown with black mane. Thank you.
Black mane and tail.
Just want to make sure it wasn't a pale horse.
No, it was not a pale horse.
This game should just be called Wild Wild Horses.
You could drag me away.
Hey!
Hey! It was like a toss-up between me running this and Laser Ponies. So close.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
I would
close.
have played both
Yeah, I
so
know.
hard.
It's like, yeah. If you were thinking about the horse,
Always.
I was thinking about the horse. New.
Yeah. New horse. Which is weird.
Fresh horse. Well, I'm just going to hang out by the entrance here, and I'll keep an eye out for anyone coming up behind us. You all do what you need to do in here, and Carla's kind of going to hang back again by the entrance and look for anyone who's... If anyone tries to sneak up on him, she'll be locked in.
If you see, when Strawberry sees you, you get the leaving. Excited.
Oh, how is the entrance way not that long?
It's not very long.
Okay.
Hello,
Yeah.
Strawberry.
Yeah.
I was going to give her the just a minute.
Her head's up oh, okay. Now she looks annoyed at you.
Is there anything in here that looks disturbed in any way?
I mean, this is sort of a place that locals dare each other to go to.
Okay.
So there's some graffiti. There's been some of the stuff that's been so and so was here and carved on top of it. And stuff
Damn
like
it,
that.
Timmy.
Was spelled W-U-Z.
Yeah, exactly.
There's not a chunk of the clock missing, obviously.
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't I mean, it's very, very old. So there's parts that have collapsed a little bit, but there's rock still there. It doesn't look like there's been any excavation of any part of it.
No blood splatters or clear evidence of a
nothing
sacrifice.
like that. No.
Okay.
Can I see any, as I look around, does anything look like some kind of triggering device, lever, keyhole, any type of thing as I'm looking around that might be something that might lead to maybe a secret passage or secret chamber or compartment or anything like that? I start looking over through all the walls and the
You
floor.
can roll perception for that.
Oh, okay. We'll go with the 2 10s for my hard dice.
Very
because
nice.
Everything else sucks.
Got 3 twos.
Yeah, I got
There
3 twos.
aren't any secret passages. You can tell that this was literally carved
Straight out the
into
stone.
the stone. So whatever civilization or group of people did this spent years and years and years doing this and had mathematics beyond even what just what people are starting to kind of rediscover now. And you don't see any clear a button to push or things like that, but you get the feeling that from the power you feel this room does something.
Well, the eats here is very strong, yes.
Yeah.
And I want to try one more thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to grab a crucifix from my bag and I'm going to put it in the center of the room and see what happens.
Okay. Very good. What's the history of this crucifix?
It's basically a missionary crucifix from the chapel of my old childhood home. It's wooden and it's not super fancy, but it's old and it's special to me.
It's special to you. Okay. You put it in the middle of the room, and like the feeling gets louder, even though there's still no sound. I want to be clear for everyone in the audience.
Right.
Like it's this deafening silence that like has this deafening power within you, and like the volume just gets turned up, and for just a moment, instead of this beating like thrum that's pulsating, like it becomes solid for a moment, and then it stops, and it goes back to the pulsing.
That was interesting.
That was interesting. I'm gonna do something stupid.
Okay. It doesn't look like anything happened to the crossman. Like it didn't disappear. It didn't burn up. Like nothing like that.
Stupid, awesome, whatever.
Yeah.
Look, I'm gonna combine two things that I wanted to do.
Okay.
So I wanted to try and like check the magic to see what flavor it is. If it matches any flavor that I've seen this week.
Yeah.
Also, I would like to stand where the crucifix was.
Okay. Very good. You can absolutely stand there. When you stand there, like nothing changes.
Interesting. Okay.
And the flavor is. I'm trying to think of a way to describe this since I've decided to go with flavor for how I talk about magic. I don't know why that happened at this
It's
game.
cool. I love it. I'm
Is
here
it?
for
Okay.
it. Good. It's
Okay,
awesome.
good.
I like it. No, it's good.
Yeah,
So
I like
it's
describing
like-
magic in different ways.
Yeah, it's like when you, like if you're drinking like whiskey, and you're drinking like it feels like you think you've been drinking good whiskey your whole life. In this place, you realize you've been drinking very new whiskey. This place tastes like old whiskey, like rich. There's this depth to it that you've never felt. Not necessarily more powerful than what you know, but just older and like aged well.
Okay. So like the opposite of new. Hey, Red.
Yeah.
What'd you say that Red Lady in Red seemed like?
It was like, you know, when you commission something, like a saddle or something, and that new leather is super supple. Like everything about her was like that, just brand new, just untouched.
I thought that's what you said. This magic in here, this feels real old and aged, like the opposite of that.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Well, I understand what you're saying.
So, we got two opposing forces here. Old, looks around,
And new.
and new. And if that new one is starting up trouble over at the Winchesters, maybe that's what's throwing everything out of whack.
That's not the weirdest thing I've heard all day.
That is true.
Carl's gonna show up in the corner. What y'all doing with that crucifix in there? What's going on?
This magic is old.
Okay. Does that help?
Weirdly, yes. I think we have to figure out a way to activate this death clock. I know that probably sounds like the wrong thing you're supposed to do.
Go to the dead.
Did that crucifix activate the death clock?
It was interested, I think, in the crucifix, but it didn't seem to activate it. No,
Because of Jesus?
I don't know. I don't know him.
Who's that guy? Yeah.
This is a really
What do you think that crucifix did?
Hey, Rojito, why don't you come over here and stand here for a second for me? Just
It didn't work for me. It didn't do anything.
Yeah, I remember what happened last time. I tried to read something that I wasn't supposed to read. But yeah, I will, because that's what I was thinking, was go stand center. And if nothing happens right away, I've never tried to read inanimate objects. We'll see what happens.
Let me see your sheet again.
Yeah, go for it. Please let me know. This is the thing I can do.
Jason's on a plane. I can't text him and be like, how did you put this exactly?
Okay, I have an idea after you try to read the cave's mind.
The skill that I use is empathy.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I can empathize.
I'll let you read empathy on it. I'm not
Okay.
going to let you use your mind reading power,
But
you
I could
can
use empathy. Okay, good. Empathy is also very good for
Yeah,
me.
because that's what we've been using kind of to read magic in the game, like to
Okay.
sense magic. We've been using empathy rather than just perception because it made more sense to my brain.
No, that makes sense. I buy that.
Actually, I buy it completely.
Yeah. Because you wouldn't see magic
It
necessarily.
is an intellectual thing. It's more
Cool,
about
7.
Yeah.
And I got my 2 10s for my hard dice.
Okay.
Let's do 2 10s.
Do that? Okay. You stand there.
I'm also clutching my dogwood cross. Because,
Oh.
yeah, fuck this noise.
Okay. Damn, all that wine I drank just hit me really fast. As you go to the center, like when you walk in, like it doesn't really, there doesn't seem to be much change, but as you grab your dogwood cross, we get the same thing that happened with Gustavo's cross.
Okay.
And for just a moment, it's like, it almost is like the room takes a breath. And then it goes back to doing what it was doing before. And in that moment, you can't get a thought but you have a feeling it has more to do with the item than you.
Okay.
So it's not interested in you. It's interested in the
item.
thing.
Well, from what I can tell, it seems to be interested in our religious items more than anything else. Not really interested in you. Definitely not interested in me. But the common denominator then seems to be the cross. So,
Well,
I don't know if anybody else has any religious paraphernalia on them.
Grania has a her magic coin thing from the Duchess that gives her, basically helps her do her powers. Let's see if it likes that.
The same thing. It's kind of like the room takes a breath.
Yep. It likes
No,
magic
it's okay.
things.
Carl's says, I don't have much in the way of religious items, but I'd say probably the most important thing I have is right here. And she reaches into her pocket and she steps into the middle and holds her father's sheriff badge.
Oh.
The one that magically appeared in the lake?
Yep.
Magical.
The room almost like it takes a breath, but it like holds it longer, and it almost is like it starts to breathe again. And you can you feel like it starts kind of like in the middle, and it kind of it's describing it as like lighting up, but it's not actually doing anything. But you can feel the power of the room run from that center place up, start to go up the walls, and then almost like a wave rolling back. Like it starts to roll back and then comes back and then goes back to normal, the pulsing.
Seems like this room is missing something.
Well, what if we tried all of them together?
What if this is a capstone on something that we shouldn't release?
I mean, it's probably not worse than the plague we got right now.
I can imagine many, many worse things.
We know.
And what was the name of this game again? Death Clock?
Listen, the clock itself didn't name itself that. People did.
That's what
They
the
probably
locals have named it.
Yeah,
saw
I
it
mean,
look-
Sure.
who the hell would say name themselves Steve?
It looks weird in here. Of course they're going to call it a death clock.
Those of you who know stuff about magic stuff, do you guys want to roll things?
Yeah.
Sure.
Like you can roll training or intellect or something like you might have something to do with magical training. I'm not sure what you guys have. You can roll luck and just empathy if you want to.
Yeah, let's
I got a
roll
pair
luck
of
and
ones.
empathy.
Pair of ones.
Pair of Unos.
There is magic here.
Yeah.
You know there's magic. You were trained in the magic. But not
No,
this
I was trained to
magic.
kill magic things. There's a difference.
It's true.
3 5s?
2 8? No, that's
3
it.
5s. Well, I can have 5 5s. Or 3 8s. Or 2 10s. I don't. I don't 100% know which any of those is better.
We're not even gonna rush,
Do you wanna,
so
yeah, I mean, do you want to take time?
Yeah, let's go with the 5/5s, and I'll just like take a minute
Okay.
and wander around and like.
Remember that the number of
the
number of matchers you have
faster.
decreases the time. The
So-
higher the number, the more effective. the
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so 5/5s is going to be pretty quick,
Oh, I get it. I was thinking of it the other way around.
thing. So
yeah.
the 2 tens
Yeah.
is high level of success, slow
but it
time.
takes a little while.
Okay. Yeah, let's do the 2 10s then.
Okay. So you've been watching this, and you suddenly get this memory of when the Fae ask you to give something up, something that means something to you. And it's not like a direct correlation. Like, this isn't that magic, but you're like, oh, I kind of recognize this. Does that make sense?
Okay. It's like an offering. Okay.
That part is very familiar to you.
Yeah. Okay. So it seems like it's responding to our items because it's something of significance to us. Like how you need to sacrifice something to get something in return. So if we want to activate it, we got to give it something.
can we give it jam?
I mean, if we hadn't sent him to town on a donkey, sure.
I told you he might have been useful as a sacrifice, but no, nobody wanted to listen
But
to me.
he's not really of value to us.
Yeah.
Winchester could
Well,
sacrifice him.
How do we offer it? Because I mean, Gustavo put the crucifix right in the middle of the floor, and nothing happened.
Yeah, but you didn't intend to leave it there forever. You intended to take it back, right?
And I look at the cross, and it's like one of the few things that I still have left. So, and this is actually somewhat tiered in its symbology for Gustavo. So he takes the wooden and clay cross and puts it down there, and he takes his macuatl, that Aztec sword with all of the chunks of, and basically just destroys it in the center of the room.
Nice. Okay. Cool. So we have kind of the same effect that we saw when you first put the star down, except it goes all the way up the walls this time. And instead of this pulse, it's just like this straight energy now that's running through the room. And you almost, when you close your eyes, you can almost see this glow happening, but when you open your eyes again, you don't actually see any glow. That kind of mimics all the picture carvings all over the walls. And yeah, it's just humming, and you get this feeling of like anticipation and like waiting. And it's staying activated. It's not stopping.
Oh. Well,
What does it mean?
I don't know. We did a thing.
Would it be worth trying to reread it?
Sure. Maybe. I don't know.
But I just want to make sure that I'm not.
You're the player.
I'm interested in rereading it. Let's do that.
Okay.
So let's see. That's 9 dice total. 2 of them are hard dice.
I'm going to do the ritual sacrifice dance.
Okay.
That's 3 10s.
3 10s? Okay.
Yeah, 'cause
Very
these are
good.
hard dice. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of what this room has been waiting for.
Okay.
And there is a presence in the room, but it's almost like when you see somebody behind old-timey glass, and you can kind of see them a little bit, but you can't really make out the features of them.
Can I make out any colors?
No, it's
Okay.
not like color. You because you're not actually seeing them.
Right.
It's like
a feeling.
a feeling of like someone like behind something.
Someone is here with us. Some presence, something. I don't know what they want, but they're here.
Do you think you could communicate with them?
I can try. I guess thought bubble. We mean you no disrespect. But we are unsure as to your intentions.
Yeah, you get the feeling of wanting to talk to you and they can't. Like they want to communicate.
How can I help you communicate?
Same.
Yeah. Worth a shot.
Yeah, like anticipation, wanting is what you're feeling.
Okay. They're trying to come through, but they can't communicate with us yet.
Well.
I'm going to take my dogwood cross off of me, put it in the center, use one of the torches and light it on fire.
All right. As it burns, like the room grows stronger. You all feel it, like it's starting to now, like almost hum rather than just being like breathing. It's like humming, and you're actually starting to kind of think like maybe there's a little bit of light coming when your eyes are open.
Okay.
And you get the feeling of like if there's like a wall between you two, there's now like more like a pane of like a door between you two.
Okay.
So it's getting smaller.
This is working.
Well, if this is what has to be done.
Gustavo was right. It's a sacrifice.
Yeah. What?
Aw.
I know. It's very hard. I was maybe saving this to help the dog, but I guess this is important too. Shit. So, yeah, Carla puts the badge down and it's like, well, and like I had this for very long anyway. And then takes one of her knives and just like, the knife is very sharp. It breaks it in half right in the center of the room.
Right. There's almost like when there's a plane flying overhead and you hear that sonic boom. Like it's not like deafening to you, but you feel it in the room. And like then everything is starting to kind of glow. And you can see it's like this weird kind of pale yellow color coming from all the carvings in the room. And boom, suddenly there's like only a pane of glass. And you can kind of almost hear a voice.
All right.
I look at Grianne.
She's gonna sigh, take off her scarf that she always wears because it's the last thing she has of her mother's. She's gonna set it in the middle and then set it on fire.
And as it burns, like there's almost like this silence that comes over. Like the power's still there, but no longer is it like trying to come through. It is like around you, and you all get like this goosebump, tingly feeling. And then even the ceiling is kind of covered with these glowing hieroglyphs. And then there's just this. It's light, but it's in the shape like a human shape in the middle of the room. It does not have features. It's literally like just a shaft of this golden pale light just in the middle that's in the shape of like a mannequin that was glowing magically or something like that. And it's in the middle of the room.
Hi.
I basically put the sword thing in front of me and I sort of kneel in front of it.
You hear in your heads a language you have not ever heard before. And it's not like anything that you know, because Gustavo, you know a couple languages. You've heard Fae talk, you've heard like all these things, and it doesn't sound like anything that you've ever heard before.
Do we understand the meaning or no? Okay.
No.
God, I don't want to go blind again. But there's another option. Or I'm going to try to read its mind. I'm going to try to see if I can identify what it's trying to tell us.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, I'm going to write down phonetically what I'm hearing,
Okay.
just in case.
That is 3 10s.
Okay. You're reading from it. You can't read it quite like you can a person, but you read it kind of like how Carla can read strawberry.
Okay.
You get like vague feelings and things like that. Like confusion is what you're getting off of it. It's you suddenly realize it is as confused by what you're saying as you are by what it's saying, and it doesn't understand why you don't understand it.
They can't understand us, and we can't understand it. I'm gonna look around. The pictographs are all lit now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna look around at the pictographs. Is there any clue as to some kind of ritual that might help us understand it, or?
Not necessarily, not really. Like, there's some things you can recognize. There's things like animals that you recognize. There are very clear human people on there, things like that. If you wanted to try and communicate with like pointing, but there's nothing that's like a ritual. You probably start to get the idea. I mean, you probably thought of it that like this is so old. It's like this being is used to conversing with people in whatever language this is, and doesn't understand why you don't speak the same language the people before did.
Carlos,
That's fair.
we all speak English here. Do y'all speak English?
I don't think they do, Carla.
Hey,
I think they predate English.
well, why don't we let them answer?
They're trying.
I try it in Maya.
Okay, there's like they kind of like cock their head a little bit, like the little like, oh, it's familiar. Like they at least like you get the sudden emotion of, oh, like a little bit of understand, like not comprehension, but that was at least a little familiar.
Okay.
So like it's as if like we heard Spanish. We might not know what Spanish is saying, like if you don't speak Spanish, but
Right.
we're like, okay, it's still a romantical language. Like I get what that is. I don't know what you're saying, but I know what you're speaking. So there's like that familiarity with when he speaks the Mayan. So
Okay.
then it starts to kind of calm down a little bit.
Okay.
And you probably also get like a sense of processing, like crazy processing, like thinking, but like on a scale beyond humans. So everything you're saying, it's like trying to process it.
There are no pictographs depicting friendship or peace, are there?
There's some of like people holding hands. There's some of they're very clearly like dancing. There are hunting things, like so Oliver.
I'm gonna try to point to the one people holding hands
Okay.
and try to communicate like, we come in peace, we're friends, we don't mean any harm, don't use any ancient magic on us.
Right. You're not getting any hostile vibes at all. It kind of like cocks its head again, and then it reaches out and takes your hand.
Okay, I will let that happen.
Okay.
Meanwhile,
I give consent.
Carla has edged back towards the entrance to this cave and is kind of like,
Yeah.
Strawberry was right.
When it touches you,
Mm-hmm.
you suddenly it's as if it's almost like touching. It's not quite like a hot stove, but it's very warm.
Like a hot stone, like a
Yeah, like something is like, oh, this might burn me in a second. I should probably let go in a second, but it's also kind of nice.
Okay.
Like it's like that on the edge of sort of hurting, but also not terrible. But it doesn't feel like threatening in any way. And you almost feel like it's like you feel in your mind, because you're so versed with using your mind, it's pulling things from your mind.
Okay.
You're used to the opposite. You're used
Yeah.
to pulling things from other people's mind. This thing is like, in modern terms, downloading you.
That's weird.
It knows everything about you. It knows everything you've ever known. Like, it is assimilating everything from
I
you.
am so sorry.
Awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah. and then like right before like it gets to a point where you think like literally like, oh, I'm burning, my hand is burning. Let's go.
Okay.
It has been a long time since anyone has spoken with us.
You speak English now.
We do now.
Oh, hello. I'm sorry it's been so long since anyone spoke with you.
You have nothing to apologize for. You have been alive but a moment.
That's very true. Can we ask what we should call you?
We have no name that you can pronounce.
Do you have a title that we could call you? Some kind of just frame of reference.
What do you call this place in this time?
This is called the Cave of the Clock of Death.
But the name is up for debate.
We didn't name it that.
Most people don't really know what this place is for.
Most people are dumb.
Kennedy cocks his head again. Like,
and basically there's the scroll for the creation myth of the Maya is on my sword, and I go, these people are old beyond reckoning. 3,000 of our solar cycles old, and you are older than that. That is older than anything that we know.
yes, we remember these people. They were just beginning their civilization when we left.
Why'd y'all need to break our stuff for you to show up?
Rude. Sacrifice is totally normal.
I just want to know why we had to break our stuff.
We contain a large amount of knowledge. Those who were worthy of it must be willing to give up anything for it.
Fair play.
We understand. I understand the importance of sacrifice and ritual,
Yes.
but we beseech upon you to grant us some of your knowledge. We are in a troubled time and place. There are things occurring here that are unnatural and are claiming the lives of innocents. We have come here in hopes of finding some form of resolution to these things or some clue as to how to resolve them. Would you be willing to help us?
Which things do you speak of?
We got some sick animals in town.
There seems to be
It's like, what the fuck?
there are positive and negative forces at work here, and this magical contention seems to be infecting creatures, and we are hoping that it doesn't spread to mankind, but there is definitely an imbalance in these energies here, and we seek to restore that balance.
Yes, we are the ones infecting the animals.
Can I ask why?
We needed your attention.
Well, you got it. How can we help you?
Could you stop now?
We are limited in our abilities. Your sacrifices have brought us some power again. But there is a force in your town, you call it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is a place where our grouping of our people reside.
Yes, your tribal lands are in danger, and we are not able to leave this place, and we were hoping it would bring attention to a problem, which it seems it did.
That it did. And we are most happy to help avert the problem in our town, is there a way that we can heal the afflicted animals?
Oh, yes. We should be able to do that now, if that is your will.
Yes.
Yes,
We
please.
would like them to not die.
Literally the only reason I'm here.
So there's like a moment where it's almost like if the room is inhaling before, it's almost like the room exhales a little bit. And you notice that the ruins on the sides get dimmer a little bit. And then it is done. The animals should recover in the next few days.
Thank you.
But what did you want us for? You made the animals sick to get our attention, but do you have any specifics on what's affecting our town?
What is the source of this grave peril, and how can we assist you in surmounting the obstacle?
We have been gone too long. We do not know how this peril appears now. It did not sleep as we did. But it has arrived again in this area. It has gone many places, and it takes many shapes. The animals were, like, pauses, like thinking, trying to think of the word, as a countdown to warn you of impending doom.
Can you tell
like
us
some kind of death clock.
Maybe it wasn't so weirdly named.
if you can give us any information as to what we can do to assist you? It would seem that we are both mutually interested in stopping this.
We are tasked with protecting these lands since before the time of human arrival.
Protect it from what?
From all threats. But the newest threat, well, the oldest threat, it was new in our time before. Now it must be quite old. And we were successful before, but it seems that they have returned to this area. We spent our last energies trying to warn you with the animals.
Is there a way we can recognize this opposing force to you? I mean,
Any kind of sign? Any kind of...
when I came here, the magic felt very old. And we've heard of a presence that has recently come to town that appears new, for lack of a better word.
You red presence.
That may be them, but it has been many millennia since we met this force. They may take any shape.
What do they do?
They are the one who calls himself Red had no words that we know that work. We are the life cycle. We are the natural way of things. They are the unnatural way. They stop.
Lords of
You
the
have not come up with very many words in the last millennia. Your vocabulary is very limiting. They defy what should happen.
They were contrary to the natural order.
Contrary, yes, this is a word that is appropriate.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't know that word.
No,
Which is funny because you are very contrary.
you knew this
times.
word. There is. We had a word for them in the old language that I do not think you would understand. And there is no comparable word now.
Okay. If we find this presence, is there any way you can advise us in defeating it?
For a second, Red, you kind of get a, like, almost amusement, but not like, but like sad amusement. Like, oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
my sweet summer child.
Yeah. A little bit, exactly.
Sweet babies.
They may be stopped, but not defeated. They generally deal with humans. They live as we do on the belief of humans.
So take away that belief and they will go away.
Until the next time we meet. Many millennia from now, most likely.
When everyone in our town is dead and won't have to worry about it.
Sounds like
Yes.
a problem for future people.
Yep. Yep. Okay.
Is there a way to tell people who believe in them? Do they kind of mark any
Do
kind
they
of
have a
sign?
mark, a sigil, or yeah, exactly.
I do not know how, or we do not know how their worship may have changed in the millennia. In the old days, they did scar their skin near their heart to show their dedication. But things may have changed, for they most likely did not sleep as we did.
Was your sleep chosen for you? Was that voluntary, or did someone put you to sleep?
Eventually, all those who believed were deceased.
So your lack of belief put you into hibernation. I see.
With no energies, we were not able to continue our vigil.
If we brought you more believers, would you be stronger and more vigilant?
Yes, we would.
Alternative plan, start a cult.
I love that it seems alternative plan.
Listen, it went off brand for me. I didn't start a cult immediately.
No, you started a couple already. They're good to go.
Okay.
Is there any pattern to the worship of these things that we may recognize? Is there any preferred method of sacrifice or worship that they have?
They like the adoration of humans, but do not come in their true form as we do. They put on a pleasant guise that humans find appealing. Some of their worshippers may not even understand that they are worshiping one such as us.
That is a problem.
But someone as rich as Harlan Winchester would probably like someone shiny and new.
But there aren't nearly enough people working at the Winchester ranch to
Well,
gain that much.
I don't know if it's the
energy of
quantity
worship.
as well as the level of devotion.
I mean, Jim would seem to be one of the most trusted members of that group, and he did not seem to have any type of connection to this.
No. But would you rather have a lot of sort of devoted worshippers or a few very devoted ones?
I will tell you this. I found it extremely odd that the Reverend was willing to have Catholics worship at his church just because he was being nice.
He was?
He was. He practically invited me and going, bring your people. Have service here if you'd like.
That is very strange.
Maybe. How close is he to Mr. Winchester?
Who knows, but I've gotten strange feelings from that church before.
Maybe we should investigate.
I mean, we can check out the church and everything, but I feel like the main way we're going to find anything out is one of us getting into that manor and snooping around a bit. I'd sure like to be the one who does that.
We still have our plan for getting inside.
To be frank with you, at this point, I'll burn the whole fucking place down. Fuck getting in.
Well, we saw what happened when we sacrificed things that mean something dear to us here. Can you imagine if whatever this red person is sees that as a sacrifice?
It's more of a defilement.
To be clear, I did once try to burn down the Winchester Manor. It did not take. So we'll just
that was the perfect time for
we'll
Kimi
just go
to come
ahead
back.
and clear that one out of there. That does not work. I'll tell you that much.
But we do know that Mr. Winchester is a fan of the, for lack of a better term, occult. And I don't know about you, but this sounds pretty damn occult.
If he's collecting all those artifacts, what's to say he's not sacrificing them to the other presents?
Because clearly denomination does not seem to be a factor.
Although, if they care more about human devotion than items, then that might be
Then
moot.
they might sacrifice the devoted.
Entirely possible.
Yeah, but there haven't been really a string of disappearances in town.
We would have probably noticed that.
Unless... Alright, so this is a stretch, but go with me on this, alright? Winchester knew the cure to the disease, but didn't share it with anybody, including the people from Ember Falls. What if him not giving them the cure was some kind of sacrifice?
Sacrificing a whole town?
Can you imagine how much power?
It's just excessive.
Yeah.
But you're right, that's a lot of power. There's definitely a connection between Winchester and this shiny new penny lady.
And I think this is that force that our golden friend here is warning us about. So I think our best bet is to get inside the Winchester mansion, try to get an idea of how deep he is, and maybe get some more information on what this is. I look back at the golden figure. Aside from destroying those, or destroying the belief in it, there's no other way to weaken it. That's the best bet.
The world has changed much since we last faced them. You yourselves are all full of strange magics, is the word? That we were not familiar with. There may be much that has arisen in power since our time that would be able to face this.
I ain't full of any magic. What are you talking about? What? Yes.
The golden figure just looks at you. He doesn't have eyes or anything. It's just like a silhouette. But you get the.
I mean, ride magic.
Brightest light throws the darkest shade.
Question.
So inside of him.
And at that moment, you hear Strawberry whinny outside.
So your power is derived from worship, but you were here before man. How did that work?
It's a good question.
The belief of the spirits of the land sustained us. Then when man arrived, they drove off the spirits of the land. And eventually, all that was left was the belief of man.
Batman suspicious squad.
Called a death clock. Why wouldn't you be suspicious?
Question. If we come back and want to speak with you again, do we have to sacrifice more things?
Depends on how quickly you return.
Okay.
These sacrifices will only sustain us for a period of time. Eventually, we will again be unable to communicate.
But if we come again and speak to you, then it will sustain you.
As we will speak with you as long as we have the power to do so.
Okay. Okay.
We much prefer this state to being locked in the stones.
Yeah, that sounds kind of sad.
It has been a long time even for us.
Okay.
We will attempt to seek those who worship this force and eradicate them.
I got a place we can sacrifice them. Just saying.
Well, thank y'all. It's been swell meeting you. I'm going to go ahead and step on outside. Carla's going to go back on out of here. She's done. Done with this creepy-ass cave.
We look forward to your return. And then it kind of like shimmers like dust and then like falls into the floor, but falls like into the floor, not just on like a pile of dust on the floor.
As it starts to disintegrate, Ganya goes, "Thanks for fixing Ralph. Bye."
Yeah. They don't acknowledge that. And then like slowly like it goes back almost like the like Energizer bunny like things like back down until there's just like the regular pulse that was there when you first like visited.
Okay. I knew this death clock was awesome. All right.
Yeah, sure. Definitely awesome. I'm ready to go back and get a little bit of sleep on this.
How did you sleep after that? That was
That's
very
what I'm saying.
exciting.
This is very weird.
Everything's totally normal. I don't know what you're talking about.
We made friends with another magic thing.
Yes.
And fix the animals.
Friends.
Yeah, we can go get Ralph back and give him to Rowena.
Yeah.
Where were we keeping Ralph, by the way?
He's
She was
at the...
She was with the witch.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
The totally not witch.
Not witch.
Not a witch.
Witch.
This is not a witch.
Yeah.
I'll take care of Ralph. Y'all don't have to worry about that one.
Don't, like, take care of him.
No,
He's
no,
fine.
no. Like, take care of him in a good way.
Well, we're just making sure because this is really weird.
Hey, old yeller.
It
God.
has been a relatively dark day.
He's my dog, Pop.
I'll take care of it.
Ralph ain't an employee of the Winchesters, all right? So
Maybe we can get Ralph invited in the house.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I gotta go back there to get some sleep anyway and tell Hepzibah about our sweet friend out here.
I'll take him back in the morning when the mills are up.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to return their dog in the middle of the night. That'd be weird. Who would do such a thing?
2 a.m. Here, take your dog.
Yeah. All right, you go outside of the cave, and you left the horses tied up outside, right?
Yeah.
All right, except for Strawberry.
No man can tie Strawberry.
Yeah. So you walk outside of the cave, and all the horses kind of shy away from you, including Strawberry.
Worshipped by the spirits of the animals, eh? I do not trust that thing as far as I get. Well, whatever.
So they don't run, like they just kind of like when a horse like jumps away from something that it's scared of, and then it kind of like, oh wait, I recognize that, and they kind of like stand there, and then they let you ride them and all that. But
So, hey, Tornado, ¿qué pasó? What is wrong with the horses? Basically, sorry, George.
I don't know. Horse seems right to me.
It's hard
horse,
to tell.
of course, had the least jump. She's like, eh.
Like Carla's gonna like grab her her stone and like touch Strawberry and be like, is it okay? Like,
Rolling.
okay.
Or, yeah, that's what we had him you do before, right?
Nope.
That's some fives. Two
Okay.
fives.
2 5s. Okay. You get a feeling of worry and almost like questioning, have you changed? Like, are you still you? Like, and then like she kind of relaxes after a minute, but
And like, hell yeah, it's me. Hell yeah, still the same old Carla. Here on your back. Yeah, so they're gonna let us ride.
Yeah, they chill out after a second. It's just
Okay.
when you first come out, they're like, whoa, something's weird, and then they're like, oh no, we know these people. It's fine. It's okay. Fine.
What did you think of this, Grianne?
That's pretty awesome.
You?
Well, it seems to have nothing to do with people that I'm terrified of. Seems to be a bit older than they are. So, I'm kind of on board.
They're pretty lax in their sacrifice policy, by the way.
Well, we'll see if they fix the animals, but if so, that's A+ in my book, and we have a plan on getting into Winchester Manor, and that's what I'm interested in. So,
All of you seem
ready to
be
rock and roll.
under a Christian misconception that gods are nice. My experience has been quite the opposite. I do not trust this being. I do not take what it tells us at face value. And I think that we should be very careful in our interactions with it.
Well, I mean, yeah, like,
Our beasts...
gods try to trick you out of your stuff. That's just what they do.
It is... I sense something slightly more malevolent than being tricked out of trinkets.
Oh, no, I meant like your stuff, like your blood and your life and body parts and
Yeah,
whatnot.
that's very bad. Once again, something I am well acquainted with. I am just saying that trusting this creature at face value is probably not a good idea. We should be very careful. We may have just expanded our repertoire of enemies.
Well, this quote-unquote enemy seems to be an enemy of whatever the Winchesters are harboring at their manor. And as a wise man once said, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Also, if your enemy is trying to murder all the dogs in your town, you should probably make friends with it to make it stop. That's an old saying from the old
It
country.
seemed like they were the one murdering all the dogs in town, and they stopped doing it once we showed up.
Exactly.
Which is, kind of shitty. But if Ralph's okay, then I'll be all right.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. We should be careful. But
Well,
I would
yeah.
rather know who they are than have them know who we are and not
The
vice
fact that we
versa.
know that they exist is definitely something very good for us, because they are no longer in the shadows. I'd rather have an enemy I can see in front of me than one that is lurking in the darkness. But I am just saying, there still maybe more to this story that we know.
Well, if you are right, and there is some kind of malevolent force involved, then you ought to put them back to sleep. They told us as much.
That's true. We know how to put both of them back to sleep.
Speaking of sleep,
You're
That's-
heading towards town.
Fair enough. We
What
have
are you
had a
afraid of the
long
bags
day.
under your eyes?
It has been a long day. We were up early, too.
No, I am quite tired as well.
Fair enough. I'm going to go back to the boarding house and check on Ralph.
Okay.
that's obviously where I'm going.
Yeah.
Where are you going, Red?
Has my eyesight returned?
It's getting better. Yeah, you don't have to wear the
Okay.
dumb glass. You can't read signs and stuff, but you can see where buildings are and stuff.
Okay.
now.
Well, yeah, I will go with them to return the glasses and then try to sneak off to bed without waking up Lenora.
Okay.
I'm going to head back to the Pueblo.
Okay. You may absolutely do that.
It's such a further ride than we do. It's so
Yeah.
far.
But I have a nice big horse.
Right?
Yeah.
It's nice to have
He's
land.
done it many a time.
It's good to have land. Monaco.
It's good to be part of the privilege.
Oh, the landed gentry. Landed?
When you get
Landred.
Landred. Yeah.
Yep.
When you get to the boarding house, Hepzibah's there, and she like smiles. Well, it's so good to see you all. Can I speak with you, Grania, for just a moment?
Yep.
Perhaps in the kitchen.
Uh-huh.
And you notice that Ralph is like wagging his tail, and he kind of walks up to you guys. And he's, hey. He's just like happy dog, but
Okay.
definitely better than he was before.
Well, you go up to the kitchen. I'm going up to my room. And I'm taking Ralph with me, and we're going to snuggle.
No.
Aw.
Okay.
I
Snuggle puppy.
guess
Snuggle
I'll
that
wait
dog.
here.
I thought you were going back to...
Well, I'm going to return the
fucking-
glasses, but you ushered off Grania pretty quick.
Fine, you can stay here and pet the dog with me, God.
Thank you. That's all I wanted.
Why you gotta be greedy with the dog, man?
Grania, what did you do?
I have special feelings about this dog, and it's
Well,
all
we fixed the animals.
Yes. What spell did you come up with? He suddenly was fine, and there's no longer warring magics in him.
We made a sacrifice in the Death Clock Cave.
I love your face so much. That was awesome.
She kind of pauses. All right. Well, that explains some things. Yes. Perhaps you'll explain it to me more in the morning.
I would love to, but I'm not gonna, because I'm gonna blurt it all out right now.
Okay.
Too excited. And just like,
Oh,
okay,
God.
so we went to the Death Clock Cave because we suddenly remembered that it existed.
Yeah.
And then when we got in there, it was like asleep or whatever, and Gustavo put his cross in the center, and it was like, whoa, what? And it kind of woke up a little bit. So we all put our stuff in the center, and then I realized that it probably needed an offering to wake up or whatever, because, you know, like everybody does.
That's how all the magics work.
Yep.
Yes.
So we did that, and then, hello, presents made of light that could not speak English at first.
Oh. At first.
Until it took hold of Red's hand, and it, like, read his mind a little, and now it speaks English.
So it learned all the dirty words.
Yeah, definitely. I was tempted to give it my hand, but then I was like, nah, I'll just learn a bunch of things my mom yelled at me when I was a kid. It doesn't seem useful.
Yeah.
But anyway, they apparently made the animals sick to get our attention
Oh.
because they wanted our help to get rid of this other presence that has recently come to town.
Oh.
This, like, shiny new looking lady who's been visiting the Winchesters.
Oh. I haven't heard of her.
No, I mean, nobody's seen her but the Winchesters, probably, it seems like. I don't think she's been through town.
It's odd that someone would come here and not go through town, but I suppose if they're trying to keep secrets, that's what they do.
Right? But anyway, she, or they, whatever this presence is apparently bad news, according to our new light friends. Who could be lying? I don't know. I just met them.
So generally, old beings are very deceptive and tricky. It's hard to tell which ones to trust and which ones... Did they give you a name at all?
They seemed nice. No, they said we couldn't pronounce it.
Probably accurate.
Yeah. I don't know what to call them. But they did heal all the animals when I asked them to. Or at least evidenced by Ralph.
It's a good sign.
Maybe, yeah. So...
All right. Well, it's good to know. I don't actually know if that's good at all, but all right.
I don't know. If they turn out not to be terrible, we might want to go visit them so they don't go back to sleep forever.
I would be interested in that, yes. I will see if I can scry or find out any other information for you. Would you make sure to get my glasses back from your red friend?
Yes, of course. He took good care of them.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I'm going to go up to
Specifically
bed.
brought him back. Being
Yeah.
a nice guy.
Right?
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
she said if anything happened to them,
You know, you're not a thief per se. You
No.
like to earn what you take from
Yeah.
people. That's why I respect you.
I just keep doing it.
Yeah, you don't want to piss off a woman named Hepzibah Morgenstone. Like, that's not the person you
No.
want to mess up.
Probably don't.
Especially in this town.
I got enough problems.
Got 99 problems, but Hepzibah Morgenstone ain't one.
That needs to be a shirt immediately.
Yes.
Like the 3 people who think you get it.
I don't
and-
care.
Yeah.
I
And
would
the
buy that
t-shirt
shirt.
Designer.
Yeah.
All right. So she goes up to bed, and you were left petting Ralph, who's happy and waggy, and
So I'll come back out from the kitchen.
like-
She totally didn't yell at me. It's great. Yeah, we fixed it. Yay. Also, she wants her glasses back.
I'm glad. I took real good care of him. Didn't scratch him or nothing.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how you can scratch a stone, but that's fine.
I would have found a way if I could.
I'm gonna put those in a safe place.
Did she seem at all surprised? But wait, I mean, I never mind. I don't. You told her anything. Scratch that. Great. I guess I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah, same. I don't know how I'm gonna sleep after that.
I know, right?
Right.
It's very weird. Like they touched my hand and it was strange. It was very warm, but not uncomfortable.
Huh. Like a bath?
More like a touch on a very hot stone after it's been baking in the sun. You know, like you can lean up against it. It feels real good against like sore riding muscles.
Mm-hmm.
I assume.
Sort of
Okay.
stagecoach riding muscles.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'll have to try that next time.
Carla's lying on the floor rubbing Ralph's belly. He's a good puppy.
Oh, he seems so much better. Yay!
Yes, he seems to be better, as good as you.
Well, they can't be entirely evil because they healed the dog.
But they also hurt the dog in the first place.
Well, they did fix it.
But if you
If they were entirely evil, they would have hurt the dog and not
They
fixed
only
it.
shot half the class. It's okay.
oh,
I'm just saying, dude, these guys are not cool. They killed a bunch of things. They may have actually been responsible for that plague that rolled in through here. I just don't like them. Anybody who tries to hand you something, I'm always suspicious of.
are you still here, or did you enter the Pueblo?
Yes, I'm
I'm
not.
curious if you're actually here.
Oh, no, I took off. Never mind.
After Red
Holy
said
shit.
good as new, he's gotten kind of quiet.
Oh. That word takes on a different connotation these days, huh?
Uh-huh. Carla, how old do you know this dog?
He's Rowena's dog, and you know I've been over there a few times, and he's a good boy. Rub his belly.
He seemed like normal? Nothing strange?
Does
I
he?
don't know. Roll perception or empathy.
Roll to perceive the dog.
Yeah.
I will perceive this dog. I did a pretty bad job perceiving
I
this
see
dog.
2
I
eights.
see
2 8s?
That's not
2
bad.
8s and 3 5s. I'll do 2 8s.
Okay.
I'm gonna take a good long look at this dog.
Yeah. How well do you know this dog? I mean, you hang out with Rowena a lot.
I mean, Rowena is probably my best non-magical friend in the town.
Yes.
Until
My
we discover
my
she's
best friend who isn't a horse or a leprechaun or a gambler or Batman.
That's the best sentence I've ever heard.
I need that T-shirt.
You're like the American Apparel, like, and.
They're my best friend who's not a leprechaun or a gambler or a Batman.
or a magical horse.
Or a Batman.
That's beautiful.
Oh my god. So, yeah, I mean, he seems okay. But now that Red said that, I don't know. Like, maybe there's something weird.
Is he too happy? Is he like?
He's very happy.
Okay.
But maybe he's just feeling better and excited that he's feeling better. Or maybe something's wrong.
You know, to me, he seems pretty much the same, but maybe we gave it a couple of days once he got back to the Mills family and they could let us know. But, you know, off the bat, I couldn't tell you anything particularly unusual about this very good pup.
First, no, I have going through my head is Pet Cemetery. Sometimes that is better.
If Ralph turns into a zombie dog, I'm going to be real mad.
Yeah, I'm gonna be pretty pissed too.
Okay.
Stealing this dog cost me one of my favorite things.
I smell the dog.
Yeah, the dog does not smell like undead.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, not undead, but like he smells like a dog.
Yeah, no, he definitely is a dog.
He's a stinky dog.
I mean, it's the old
not
days.
It's the Old West.
He's not terribly
He's
stinky.
not getting baths.
Rowena takes better care of him than like a lot of dogs get taken care of in the Old West.
All right.
He gets brushed a lot.
Nice.
Like he's a little bit of a pampered dog for the Old West.
Aw, yay.
Well, seems fine to me. He's at
All
least
right.
better than he was.
I'll keep him in my room tonight. We'll see what goes on.
All right.
I'll let you know if
That,
anything
that sounds
weird
good.
happens.
I don't know if Gustavo's suspicion is contagious, but
He is very suspicious.
I'm suspicious of everyone.
ooh, I'm sure I want to read the dog.
Read the dog's mind. It's going to be like snacks, pets.
Snacks?
Snacks.
Snacks?
Yeah, my suspicion is enough now. I want to read the dog's mind.
Okay, do it.
Am I using my actual mind reading power now?
Yes.
Okay.
Do it.
Oh God.
Oh my god.
Oh, what did I roll? Hold on. Two of them are hard dice, one's
Okay,
wild dice.
re-roll for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna re-roll. Yeah. Yeah, that is 5 10s.
Oh my God, you read this dog's mind. This dog feels better than it has in years. Like it is, like I can like when you when you're super tired and then suddenly you drink like 3 rock stars in a row. Like this dog is. I'm a puppy can. I can run around. Pet me, pet me. Eat bacon. It's real bacon. Like the whole thing. Like it feels amazing.
That one commercial from 1999.
Yeah.
Which we
That
also
we all
fucking
know.
remember.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it is. It is a like. This dog wants to go run like a marathon. Like if it had known what the Iditarod was, like it would have been like I can do that shit. Like any of it. Like
Amazing.
yeah,
It's on World of Dance.
yeah, exactly.
What was Ralph's temperament before he got sick?
He's a good boy. He liked to play.
Like, how much play?
A normal amount for a dog.
But like, was he super hyper, high energy, barking, yelping,
No, he's
yipping?
well behaved, good boy. Like to play, like to chill when chill.
Well,
Yeah, Wild West vernacular here.
well, I don't know.
Bro, he loved to chill. My dude.
Well, from what I can tell, this dog has 0 chill.
There's no chill up in this hizzy.
There is a severe lack of chill in this dog. He is
Well,
not a chilly dog.
Well, he was dying a little bit ago. Maybe he's just feeling the thrill of life
Only
again.
mostly then.
Look,
I mean,
let's,
maybe they gave him a
let's-
little something extra to be
let's-
like, I'm sorry for
why
making
don't
you
we
sick.
give him a day and we'll come back to it in the morning? And if he keeps me up all night being wild, I'll let you know.
It's a fair point.
Yeah.
All right.
Are you? How much chill do you have?
I think we know the answer to that question.
That's fair.
I'm just saying, we're dealing with a force that feels new, and this feels like a new pup. Like,
That does make me a little suspicious.
Uh-huh.
I see where you're going with that. We'll keep an eye
are you
on
picking up what I'm putting down?
it. Yeah.
And
No.
the thing is, if this cave existed here for a while, and we know that the Winchesters have been dealing with infernal and all kinds of other kinds of magics, it is logical to assume that they had discovered this place as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. Suspicious.
Well, I'm gonna go to bed. You have a good night with your pup, and we'll see how he feels in the morning.
Sounds great.
Okay.
I'm gonna, not that I really need to sneak back into the saloon, but I want to make it quiet so I don't wake up Lenora.
Yeah, they've just given you a key. It's
Yeah, at this point, that's
Yeah.
fair. Great. I'm going to try to sleep.
Okay.
Emphasis on try.
El Jaguar is going to do a cleansing ritual on himself
Okay.
in the well in his, cat cave.
Okay.
Because for some reason he just seems he feels unclean about this.
Mm-hmm. Very
And then
good.
he's going to get some sleep
Okay.
because he's tired.
So everyone's going to go to sleep, except for Carla.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Ralph is a happy peppers.
Yeah.
He wants to play. Hey, Carla. He's like poke you with his nose a little.
Yeah.
Arr!
Rub his belly.
He's very happy about rubbing the belly.
I'm gonna do what I do to my dog and just kind of like wrap him up in a hug and try and sleep like that.
Okay. I love this is a problem you have like real world experience with.
Yes.
It does work.
Yeah, like he's got his paws, and like I put my hands through his paws so he can't like push away from me, and I hold him very tight
I love him.
and go to
To
sleep.
sleep.
To sleep.
I've done that with Stu's kids so many times, and they wouldn't sleep when they were like toddlers. It's like, I'm just gonna hug you, and you're screaming in my face, and then hopefully I fall asleep after you do, because one of us is gonna fall asleep, and if I fall asleep first, doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Yeah, that's how you do.
I'm gonna be a good dad.
Yeah, you are. You're so practiced at that. So okay, like he does a thing where he's like, then you feel a thump of his wagging tail,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of slows down a little bit.
Yeah.
So this is your night.
Okay.
This is your evening. So none of it's bad. He's still being a very good boy. He loves you very much.
Yes.
But oh my God, he's not letting you sleep.
Okay.
He's very hyper.
Puppies.
He's a good, very good boy, and you might want to get him out of your room or something. You're not going to, but it's like that feeling.
Well,
of like,
I know how Hepzibah does not allow animals roaming our halls.
no.
At all.
Especially
Yeah.
not a hyper dog in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
You can almost feel every time he barks. You can almost feel Hepzibah's glare through the wall, like every time.
Like,
She knows he was a sick dog, so she will be fine.
Yeah.
With one night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I want to piss off.
That's
A sleep deprived witch. Yep, that sounds good.
Angry witch is what you need in your life right now.
What you gonna do? Turn me into a newt?
Well, you'll get better.
yeah.
You wake up as a newt. No, I'm just kidding.
The dog eats you.
Oh no!
Every game I turn into some kind of animal.
You do. It's a thing. You are very animal oriented, just as a person. It's a choice.
Sure.
Okay.
Facts.
So you wake up the next morning, except for Carla, who hasn't slept.
Oh,
Yeah.
Aw.
And
Is there coffee? Is there whiskey? Is there coffee? Whiskey.
Yes. Yep.
yes,
Yes.
Yes and yes. It's the Old West.
it's called
There's
Irish,
Irish
coffee. It's a thing.
Yeah. Grania makes it.
Yeah.
Lots.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. You are awake. It's the next morning. None of you have died.
Yay.
Almost all of you have slept. Ralph is still a very good boy and very tired, but also wants to play.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and stomp down the stairs with this dog. I'm taking this dog to the school. I will be back in 10 minutes.
Okay.
I announce to anyone who is in the vicinity.
Hepzibah's still upstairs, but you get the feeling, like you feel that look again. You're like, oh God. Like she's glaring at you from like 4 rooms away.
Walking out onto the streets of our fair village, Anything weird going on? Any horses cantering down the road in a jolly manner? Perhaps.
I mean, did you have a list of all the? You did have a list of all
We
the animals
did.
who had been sick.
We did.
Yeah.
Specifically,
So
yes.
if you were specifically looking for those animals, yes, those animals are very happy. Like there's a happy mooey cow. There's like a horse that's like munching on its oats.
Feeling it.
Getting all those.
Oh my god, they're like a sipping fried in.
Sorry.
No, it was so good.
Like there are very happy animals in this town today. If you were Dr. Dolittle, they'd be like singing a song, but you're not. So sorry.
Cool and good. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and deliver this dog back to Rowena.
Rowena's very happy. Carla May,
How you doing?
you have Ralph. How's he doing?
Well, you tell me.
Oh
and
my! Hello, Ralph. He jumps up on her. He's super wagging his. Well, he's obviously feeling better. What'd you do?
Oh, we just we took him over to the doctor, gave him a little TLC, and he is right as rain.
Oh, thank you so much. She gives you like a big hug. Thank you so much. All right, Ralph, are we ready for our breakfast? Do we want our breakfast? Yes, we do. Okay. Did you feed him already?
No, not yet. This
All
morning.
right, I'll give him his breakfast. Did you want to join us?
You know what? I would.
All right. So she
like
goes
coffee.
and she makes you breakfast. She makes you coffee. She gives Ralph like a big spoiled dog breakfast in the Old West, which is like basically like leftovers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's just feeling right as rain. I haven't seen him act like this for years.
Hey, now I never asked you. How old is Ralph?
Oh, he's gonna be 7, but he's definitely acting like. Goodness, he's feeling good today.
Victory
My
sip.
my dog is 7, and this is how. Yeah. So I can't.
Yeah.
I have no frame of reference here because my dog is a psychopath.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Really, your crisis hold stories didn't tell us that.
Well, I think the doctor may have given him a little bit of experimental medication. So you just let me know if he continues to, act like a puppy.
To tell you if he stays feeling good?
I mean, like, if he's more good than normal.
All right.
That's all I'm saying.
I'll let you know, Carla. No problem. Thank you so much.
Is today school day?
I mean, it's pretty early in the morning.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I'll let you know for sure.
Well, thank you. I'm glad we could help with him, and you let me know if he has any more trouble.
Absolutely. Let me know if there's anything I can ever do to help you too, because I mean, he just means the world to me, and it is so nice that you saved him for me.
Yeah, Carla's very happy to help Rowena.
Yeah.
In her soul.
No.
Yeah, well, I'll let you all get back to your morning chores, and you take good care of that dog there.
Absolutely. I've got some papers I have to grade. I'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye, Calumet.
Chug that coffee back across the street.
All right.
Nice.
It's good coffee.
Damn good coffee.
Yeah. And
I think if Hepzibah's up, when Grianne gets up, she's gonna want to talk to her about history of the area, see if she knows anything about maybe describe the presence more, and ask her if she's if it seems familiar to anything she knows about.
Hepzibah's super cranky.
Okay.
She wakes up. This is why I don't keep animals in my boarding house. Animals are better when they're dead.
Yep. Okay. I made some coffee. Would you like some?
Yes. Yes, please. Thank you very much.
It has
Grianne.
whiskey in it.
Oh, you. Thank you. You're my favorite.
Even we pay with fake gold.
Tabs does not give a shit about that right now. Caffeine and whiskey are her friends.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me more about this magical presence. You said it was older than your magics?
I mean, yeah. They talked about the Mayans as if they were young. Like new.
Hell, Mother have mercy. That is very old.
Yeah.
That would predate, well, your magic or my magic.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. It's a little worrisome that they and whoever their counterpart is are affecting the town.
Yes, that is mighty worrisome.
They did say that worshippers of their nemesis, I guess, for a lack of a better word, used to scar themselves near their heart. Right?
I mean, that's fairly common in many religions and many cultures. But considering the puritanical values that have been put upon us by society, something's a bit harder to notice nowadays. You can't just walk up to someone, unfortunately, and ask them to take their shirt off.
I mean, depends on how long they've been in the saloon, I guess.
That's true.
Depends on what condition you have them in when you ask them.
That's a fair point. Well, if it holds true for these days, then it might be an easy way to recognize them if we can, get their shirts off.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you said that they were the ones causing the sick on the animals.
Yeah, they said that they used that to try and get our attention. Which, I mean, worked, but...
Yeah, that did work.
Could have just, I don't know, spelled out hay in the dirt or something instead.
Did seem that there were still those two powers in it, though. Ralph did have, we both felt it. There were two forces in there.
Yeah, so if they did it all by themselves, how would it have both magics in it?
I mean, I don't pretend to know anything about being that old or that powerful. Well, I might pretend, but don't really know anything about that particular one.
Fair.
But it does seem mighty strange.
And it does. I'll have to do some more investigating.
Yes. Well, perhaps I'll take a hike up to the... It seems strange to still call it a death clock.
They do use the animals like a death clock. They called it a countdown.
That's true. Yes, I guess it's funny how idiots sometimes name things very appropriately.
Right? Seemed like a dumb name.
Thanks, Kimi.
I love you all. This is absolutely not me.
Don't even think it. I didn't touch that. Okay.
Well, if you want some company on your hike up there, let me know.
Yeah, I don't know if that'll be necessary. I will definitely not sacrifice anything to this thing. I do not feel like facing it by myself, as it were.
That is a fair point.
But I would be interested to see these carvings and see if there's anything I recognize.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know what you think. Oh, I did make a drawing of it.
Oh, very excellent.
Maybe you don't need to hike up there.
Save me a long walk with my bad hip.
I didn't get all the, random stuff on the walls, but the main circular part in the chamber is this.
Well, I'll compare it to what I have in my books. It does not look familiar at all, though. I think your never mind, you wouldn't know that. Never mind. Yeah. That very strange.
It didn't look familiar at all to me, but I mean, what do I know?
I mean, circles are always a symbol of power. The stones in the forest show us that. So it's interesting that they have this circle shape as well. That makes me hopeful, at least. I don't know, at least maybe it's just the feeling of being familiar.
Yeah.
But I guess the circle's true in pretty much all magics in all cultures, as it were.
That's very true. Speaking of which, if you still don't mind teaching me a thing or two, I'd be happy to set aside some time for lessons.
I'd be right glad of that. So, coming up on my old age, I can't have all my wisdom dying with me.
That makes sense. I will do my best to take good care of it.
Thank you. But for now, I'm going to take a nap, because that damn dog kept me up all damn night.
That is very reasonable. Enjoy your rest, and you let me know when you have time for some lessons.
Yes, I right will. Careful.
I will.
She just walks back up the stairs. All right, let's go to Gustavo.
Okay.
So you did your cleansing ritual. Did you rest in the evening?
Yes.
Okay.
And I get up right before dawn, and I ride back over to my ranch on my Pinto and sort of pretend, oh yeah, just got up after a good night's rest. I came in late, guys. Sorry, I was seeing a friend. But at that point, I will grab some breakfast and then head back into town. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to head into town sort of like right around like I usually do and saying hi to folks, but what I'm doing is actually trying to figure out a very good vantage point to spy into the church at night.
Okay.
Because I just want to keep an eye on that place.
Yeah, you absolutely can.
And like I said, I just stop by and I say hi to a bunch of people, just be friendly. I stop by the school marm's place also to make sure that she got her dog back and everything was cool.
She's in the middle of lessons, but you see the dog is there.
Yeah, just like peer in.
Yeah, everything seems fine. The dog seems very happy. Very, very healthy.
Let's see what else. So I'm going to take it that at the boarding house and at the saloon that might have rooms also that it rents. That there's also like a bathing place where people go to pay to take baths. Anybody that's employed in like boiling the water and putting it into the baths for people, I'm going to ask, you seen anybody with like something weird tattooed or something on their chest near their heart? Does that ring a bell at all?
They hold up their hand.
I slip them like 5 cents, which is a lot of money at the stage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take this sweet nickel.
Yeah.
Another nickel?
We sometimes give baths to those who are in, who have suffered the plague, and some of them have strange markings.
Thank you much. And there's another nickel. I never had this conversation with you.
Never seen you before in my life.
Okay. So I'm going to head over to the saloon.
Okay.
Is Red there?
Red is still asleep.
Okay.
Yeah, he's still in his room.
When you walk in the saloon, there's a man in gray sitting at one of the poker tables by himself, looking at the stairs. And when you walk in, he turns and looks like straight at you.
I wink at him.
I think we'll end there. For the
Okay.
evening.
Angry.
All right.
No, El Diablo de Montequilla.
All right. Thank you guys. Good job. Like remembering the death clock existed today. Thank you guys for listening and or watching. We will be back with this game in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
And we're like getting rolling in the story. It's super fun now.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys are having as much fun as I am.
Yes.
Oldest is good in horses. All right. We'll talk to you soon. And check out happyjacks.org/schedule for all the fun things. And we'll talk to you later.
Yay.
Bye.
Bye.